the hour, 8 a.m. And it is now time to look at what is being reported in the dailies this morning. Starting with the Daily Nation, they go with the headline, High Varsity Fees Ruining Our Lives. That is the headline that they are going with this morning. And high varsity fees ruining our lives. Students punished due to delayed disbursement of government funding. And they have sampled the views of a few students there who are university students and how this has affected their lives and their education especially. Thousands of university students placed in categories that require them to pay hefty fees with minimal government subsidy under a new funding model have petitioned authorities for review. But as they await their fate, the most desperate have been forced to drop out of college and others have been barred from sitting their exams because of mounting fees arrears. And this is a story that is on page 2 and 3. And you know, these are not stories. These are real people who are going through these experiences and hardships because of all these confusion and misunderstanding as well. And that story is covered on pages 2 and page 3 of the Daily Nation. All right. Other stories that are inside the Nation. Secrets of Kenya-Haiti deal exposed. Now, a former U.S. envoy to Haiti who has been vocal about the peacekeeping mission to the Caribbean nation is back in the limelight with fresh claims on how the deal to deploy Kenyan police to the war-torn country was brokered. It's a story that is covered on page 8 inside the Daily Nation. And then senators target 3 Ruto CSs, Cabinet Secretaries John Mbadi, Lee Kinyanjui, and Alice Wahome face censure motions for snubbing House committees. It's a story that you can read on page 7. And then bill to allow state to hack accounts of internet users, and a new bill whose architect says it intends to protect consumers from exploitation by internet service providers has sparked outrage, with critics arguing the proposed law is a scheme to control social media. Legal experts warn that it violates the Constitution and the Data Protection Act, among other laws. It's a story that is on page 6, and I don't know why a section of MPs are hell-bent on, on spying on Kenyans. We are in 2025, for crying out loud. And this era of, who is saying what, and you see Kenyans are even not hiding. If they are convicted of anything and something, not only are they using the social media, but also they are very vocal, even in terms of their the way they are doing it. So this obsession, should I call it, because I feel it's an obsession of a section of MPs to crack down, should I say, using parliament on Kenyans and what they can say or not say, is neither here nor there. Why don't you just, especially MPs, if you offer oversight, because that is one of the major role of an MP, offering oversight, then I believe all these things that you are now crying foul over, especially when Kenyans raise issues, it will not even suffice. But now the reason why Kenyans are vocal, Kenyans are using their social media, because that's the only platform they have to voice their concerns. But we have MPs who are supposed to, and they have a platform backed by law of the floor of the House, to protect Kenyans, to ask all the hard questions, offer oversight on these institutions and the executive, but they are not doing that. And so, please, let's stop this. Whether you do this thing, it will not stop Kenyans from asking the hard questions. So if you are doing this so that you know who is asking questions, it will not dampen the spirit of Kenyans. But anyway, read more on that story on page 6 inside the Daily Nation. Then there is a special here as done by the Nation Media Group. It was also, was it last night in their TV station, conned by a prophet, quote unquote, they say. So it's a story that is covered page 4 and 5. To his followers, staffers and employees, he is Prophet David Maina, a man overseeing the operations of his Yahweh Media Services Limited, which officially is spreading the gospel through multiple television stations, except it is the gospel of greed and it's leaving a trail of bitter victims. Read for yourself. It's on page number 4 and 5 inside the Daily Nation. Then I see Chebet clocks second fastest 3,000 meters time in history. That is in the sports section. And Kenyan hammer throwers pin Tokyo Dreams in tour. That also is in the sports section of the Daily Nation. And MPs faults state over 3.9 billion shillings 2027 AFCON budget snub. Also, you can read what is being reported there in as far as the Daily Nation is concerned. All right. Then we go to the Standard, and the Standard actually they highlight the story that also was covered in the Daily Nation, but this one is their headline: plot to stalk Kenyans. That is the headline that they have gone with. And there is a picture there of President William Ruto and the MP who is proposing this particular law, Mary Keitany. And for the upteenth time, they say, they first of all say creepy intention. For the upteenth time, the Ruto administration is once again pushing to amend information laws through a private member's bill that would grant sweeping powers to monitor, trace, and target Kenyans online. If passed, the legislation will give the state unprecedented access to digital platforms, raising fears of a crackdown on dissent and increased surveillance of government critics, especially in the wake of last year's Gen Z protests. Experts are now warning the timing points to a calculated attempt to mute online activism ahead of the 2027 general election. And it's a story that we can read on page 6 inside the Standard. And then no papers, no plan. Why exam season is in jeopardy. Lack of funds. Millions of learners face the country's biggest exam season yet, with KCSE, Grade 9 and Grade 7 tests looming. But with days ticking by, NEC has not begun printing, citing lack of funds. Read that story. It's on page 7 inside the Standard newspaper. And the U.S. court saves Kenyan students from Trump's Harvard ban. Michael Joseph's checkered KQ legacy as he heads for exit. And killing evokes memories of unresolved murder of Catholic priests. Then Mukoru affordable houses ready, but no tenants 5 days later. That is what they are going with. Then the health and science pullout. Village where mosquitoes are losing crippling sting. Lymphatic filariasis is endemic in all 6 coastal counties, with Kwale County bearing the highest burden, but a program by the World Health Organization is slowly changing the narrative. That's on page 4-5 inside the health and science pullout. And then there's a breakthrough. New rabies jab offers hope. It's on page 2. And strict vegetarians face health risks. That is inside the Standard newspaper. Business Daily. They go with the Treasury to sell Safaricom stake in 149 billion shillings plan. Mbadi discloses proposal to offload more shares in Telco. State has a 34.9% stake in the NSE listed firm. And Ruby's CEO deported in Uhuru era gets global executive role. Right. And then telecoms operators Safaricom, Telcom Kenya and Airtel Airtel have been sued on claims that they have failed to make it easier to end auto-renewal subscriptions, exposing consumers to additional charges. And East African Cables has suffered a blow after the Court of Appeal declined to grant orders stopping Equity Bank from selling its 4 properties over a loan of 2.2 billion shillings. And so that is what is being reported in the dailies this morning. Grab your favorite copy. A lot happening in our nation. Let's continue to pray for the different sectors of this economy, the leadership of the nation, from the grassroots, county, to the national level. Let's pray for those men and women occupying those offices of influence as well. Right about now, why don't we take a short break? And this is to pave way for the video of the day.